It's fall and it's about that time. We're gonna go do a quick garden harvest, check out what's working, check out what's not, and see what's going on. First and foremost, the blackberry is obviously doing pretty freaking amazing. I'm hoping to clone it and start getting more. This whole row has been toasted, except for, of course, the Scoville 1000s. They're still trucking along. Gonna have to do some harvesting on those. The basil is trying to make a comeback, but it's been kind of chilly. And I think I went a little too hard on the pruning last time. Her mullein is doing its thing. I don't know how the chickens got in here again, but whatever. Let's see. Those were peppers that we actually are overwintering. Bunch of tomatoes ready to rock. They're going to be coming out. Our strawberries, I ended up cleaning up around them last time. They're not, well, that one's looking really good down there. Probably going to need to add some fertilizer to them, but whatnot. Some volunteer tomatoes. I don't think they know that the end of the season is upon us. That's pigweed right there. Yes, it is. These things suck. If you let these go to seed, they put on little tomato-looking things. And for whatever reason, blister beetles love these. And they will devour a whole tomato patch. It actually looks like this bed is about to be mowed as well. We'll see what happens. There's a few tomatoes still straggling in there. Oh, so many weeds. Plus side to 1,000 square foot of garden, you can grow a lot. Downside, you have to maintenance that 1,000 feet. And if you don't, you end up starting to look kind of poopy. Plus, with the water situation, which we actually did fix, so we have this IBC tank, or IBC tote that we use to water. Oh, there's a big old spider in there. I don't know if y'all seen that, but wow. So I ended up breaking that valve earlier this season, made watering a nightmare because, well, I can't haul water out here. And kept messing up trying to find the valve. So you got to measure it in millimeters and then order the valve, and then the valve shows up and you question it. But man, that sucker popped right on there beautifully. So next year, we're going to rather put a fitting down there in the red cap for a water spigot, or actually, that's probably what I'm going to do regardless. But, or we're going to try to put a pump on top and pump from the top out to the garden and set up like a drip irrigation, but cheap, poor man's way of doing that. So I'll show you how to do that next season. Let's see, we got a bunch of tomatoes that need gathered. Beautiful. Those cherry, these are super sweet 100s. You want a tomato plant that'll just take over everything and just produce a ton of tomatoes, that's the one. Especially zone 6B clay soil. And for whatever reason, we struggled with all the other peppers, but the Carolina Reapers do fantastic here. I missed an asparagus plant. That's not cool. That one's actually putting on the berries, so we'll end up getting him out of there and move to the asparagus patch, which was over yonder. Another freaking thing that's driving me crazy is the fact that these sweet potatoes are awesome. And something I'm curious about, because so they keep anchoring themselves into the soil. So I'm curious if where they're anchoring themselves, we actually have sweet potato flowers. That's cool. Is if I'm going to get more sweet potatoes out of those areas. Now I know that if they're vining this much that they apparently don't produce as well. But right now they're protecting my soil. They're not hurting anything. So we're just letting them do their thing. Plus they're kind of pretty. So the zinnias have exploded, which is awesome. Let's see. The stevia is struggling, but it is trying to make a comeback. I know it just looks like a little stick of weeds sitting in there, but it's a sugar, essentially, a sweetener. My basil's going to seed, but we're going to cut a bunch of that back today. Same thing with that one. That is a marigold. That's actually a bunch of marigolds. I did not plant those, so those are self-seeded marigold all through here. That's kind of cool. And there's a bunch of them. Oh, whatever. And there's another one. Where the heck did you guys come from? I didn't have any marigolds through this area. The cabbage worms strike again. Man, look at that, dude. That's a freaking toad. Nasty. There's 5 of them in there. I don't care. These are pretty well toast. I ain't going to be able to save them. More zinnias, which They just popped up wherever they wanted, which is kind of cool. The less flowers I have to put out, the better. And the more flowers I have, the better. The okra is finally showing signs of not wanting to play anymore. Deep in the 100-acre woods there are the peanut plants. So I noticed the other day, so apparently these put on a flower, which look like that, and those drop to the ground and then they form the peanuts. So I'm hoping, since all the grass is starting to really die back, that the peanuts will actually start producing more zinnias, cabbage. That has been in here all season. And oh, it does have a hard head in there though, don't it? I don't even know if that's worth harvesting, but maybe. The kale's been in here all season. It's finally looking really good. That is also another random peanut that I don't know how it ended up here, but whatever. I've pretty well mowed everything from the extra 1,000 foot we've put in all the way down. The sunflowers are about toast, but man, they're loaded. We're leaving a bunch of them for the birds and the bugs and whatnot to do their business with. Killed my whole squash patch with the vine borers and squash beetles. We do have more random sunflowers coming up. They produce great. They don't, well, it'll be all right. The loofahs are lost somewhere in these weed patches. I removed 2 of them because they're dead. So far, the fall garden's not doing bad. I didn't talk about my favorite part though. Something I've never grown into the fall. I've actually struggled with just growing in general, and it was kind of ignorant the way this worked out. Those are potatoes. All 3 of those are potatoes. I came out here, I had worked on this bed a little bit, mixed some hay, grass, so on and so forth into it, tilled it, then turned around, came out here, threw 3 potatoes in the ground that we were like, whatever, they got eyes on them, might as well try it, and ended up with 3 beautiful potato plants after everything I've tried. So pretty outstanding.